Welcome to Wired to Hunt Weekly. I'm Mark Kenyon, and this week I want to share 4 quick tips for better stand placement. Alright, hey there fellow whitetail addicts. As I said, I want to share with you some tips regarding stand placement, and specifically 4 ways to achieve better stand placement that will help you get more shot opportunities at mature bucks. So with that said, let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is to set your stands now, that being late winter or early spring. And you want to do this now because grain up hasn't occurred yet, and the woods are going to look just about the same now as they will during hunting season. This allows you to see what you'll be able to see during hunting season. Can you shoot to that trail? Can you shoot to that trail? But then also it's going to allow you to understand what the deer will see if they're looking up at you in the tree stand. You need to make sure that you have adequate cover so that when a deer is looking up at you during the season, he's not going to spot your silhouette or your outline. If you have a spot where you have to put a tree stand but there's not enough cover, consider making your own. I like to use zip ties or cord to attach tree limbs to my tree stand and the tree around me to break up my outline. Tip number 2 is about access. Make sure that you can get to and from your tree stand without spooking deer. And if you can't, it's not worth setting your stand there. What I like to do sometimes is look at a property and look at the natural travel routes or access routes for me. So for instance, a creek. If there's a creek that runs to the property, that's a great way to get in and out without spooking deer. So I'll look for tree stand locations alongside that creek that just will naturally allow me to get up into that tree without spooking anything. So make sure you're thinking about access and exit. Tip number 3 is set your stands for bucks, not just for deer. If you're hunting mature bucks, you need to realize that most of the time those mature bucks are going to be traveling on different trails in slightly different locations than the majority of the rest of the deer. While maybe all the does and young deer are going to be entering a field through one trail, it's more likely that a buck's going to be a little bit further back in cover or traveling on a fainter trail, maybe parallel. So make sure you're looking for those spots where you will get a shot at a mature buck. Not as many deer, but it's going to be the buck that you want to shoot. Alright, finally, tip number 4. This is look away. I got this tip from Bill Winke, and what he likes to do is actually set some of his tree stands to face away from where he expects the deer to come from. What this does for him is it gives him extra cover because that tree trunk is between him and the deer. So when a deer does approach, he stands up, turns around, faces those deer, but he's got the trunk in between them, making sure that he is almost completely hidden. Then when he's ready for a shot, he leans around and shoots his arrow. It's a great way to stay more hidden and have better cover in a tree. And so there you have it. 4 quick tips for better stand placement. I hope they help. Get out there and do the work hanging your stands and stay wired to hunt.